Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194, and I appreciate you taking the time to stop by and visit. And we are here at Zolder again. And for the people that watched the other video with the Porsche, and we are here now with the Aston Martin. And I'm going to try to do the same kind of video and kind of go through. I haven't even driven the Aston Martin in a while, so it's definitely going to be completely different. And see what we can do here at Zolder with a wet setup, just a generic base wet setup to help with durability and to have more fun doing a race in the rain. So let's get to it. So first thing we're going to do, of course, I have no setup here at all. So we're going to go to the wet preset, and here we go. So again, I'm going to, with the tires, I'm going to go up to 29 and a half, just like I did on the Porsche. I do that with every car for this temperature. I mean, again, you can just judge that, if it's in the teens, I usually go that high. If it's in the 20s, I might go 28 and a half or 29. So it just depends, of what the temperature is. But, most of the time, when it's raining, I think it's usually in the lower 20s or colder most of the time I've seen. With the tow, with the Aston Martin, you got the. I'm going to keep it about the same. I'll leave it at negative zero point 0.1. That's okay. And here you see they got 3.8 on both sides of the negative camber. Again, that's too much. Uh, Again, I'm going to knock it down basically a half a point, or yeah, zero point 0.5 of negative 3.8. I'm going to take that off. So I'm going to take this down to, let's say, 3.2. Um, and 3.3 on that side. So basically a little different than the other one, but basically a 0.5. Negative zero point 0.5 is what I'm going to take off. And then here with the caster, I don't have any setup, but I usually run it, I think, around 15 or 16. No, 15. Yeah, 15. I'm going to run this around 14. It's a little bit better feel, but still, basically not maxed out by any means by a long way. And then the rear, here you have the tow at 0.15. I'm going to go ahead and go up to 2 on that one. I'll leave the tow at negative 1 on the Aston Martin. And then here, basically, with the camber, they got it down at negative 3.2. I'm going to go down to the same, basically the same 2.4. So again, I'm going to keep it in that mid twos. Whether it's the Porsche or this car, I'm going to keep it right around in that mid twos somewhere. Electronics, again, I'm going to keep the ABS. I'm going to max it out, and I'm going to back this off 2 clicks off the traction control. So at least 2 clicks. We'll start there. Fuel, 65 liters. Number 3 brake pad, that's the same. And mechanical, okay, you got 8 here. So I'm going to go 4 on the anti-roll bar. Now this is the brake bias. Of course, the engine's in the front. So this one, I really don't want to do that, because if you put a lot of brake bias to the rear, the back end don't have a lot of weight. So if anything, I'm going to go a little bit to the opposite. I'm going to go a little bit more to the front, because that's where the weight is. And I'm wanting to keep the car, at least in the beginning, from not being real nervous and the back end swapping out. Now I can, again, I hope you have that on whatever you use, but that's probably one of the most important things you can have, is to adjust your brake bias on the fly. So, but to start off with, I'll be on the conservative side and put it this way because, again, you want to go wherever the weight is, and the weight, of course, is on the front with the Aston Martin. Of course, it's not like front like a, it's still, you know got good distribution, but still it's still more in the front than any other, like a Lamborghini or the Porsche. Now here, the wheel rate at 155,000, that's what I'd probably run in the dry, or 160. I'd probably run that or that in the dry. Probably. It's been so long. I haven't even got a wet setup. So again, I'm gonna go at least one click down from that. You could go two, but I'm gonna try one click, at least one click, if not two. But I'll go with one. Here, the bump stop rate is 800. That's not too bad. I'm going to go down to 700. And the bump stop rate is 7. I'm going to go up to 10. Again, you're wanting to increase all these by a little bit. I'm going to go down to 600 on this. And about the same, I'll go to 32, 35, 32, between 30 and 35 on the bump stop rate. Again, you're doing this really quick because you're in multiplayer, and here you go the next session and it's wet. So here you got anti-roll bar is at 3. Again, that's not real bad. You could probably leave it at there, but we're going to knock this down 1 to 2. That's what I would do. Again, I'm always trying to stop it from rotating. You could leave it at 2, or you could leave it at 3, but the most I would do is knock it down to 2. But we'll leave it at 3 and just leave it there. So either one, drop it 1 or leave it where it's at is the most I would do. Preload on the diff. Now again, they got it at 30, but you can run less on the front engine cars. Now on the rear engine or the mid engine, you need more of this preload. So like I said, you always want to get at least 2 clicks, at least more. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3 clicks. So that's 60. So that's I ran 90 in the Porsche, but I'm going to go at least 3 clicks over whatever the wet setup is. At least 2 or 3 clicks, and I'm going to go 3. Not as much because they don't, they don't rotate like the mid-engine car does. So basically, they need a little bit more help to rotate. So shocks, well, see, that looks like a dry setup to me. The Porsche had a lot less in it. So basically, I'll leave these alone, just like we did in the Porsche, because again, I'm trying to do what a generic setup would be when you're trying to do something really quick and you're wanting to do it within like 5 minutes or less, just a few minutes, real quick, because you don't have a lot of time. This is shocks that you have to go through and just really take a lot of time with. So I'm just going to leave those, and we'll see how it goes. Aero, 60 in the front is good. That is all right. That's what I'd run, because in the dry, I would probably be down around, I'd probably be like 57 in the dry. So 60 is good. 2 or 3 clicks up. And in the back, of course, you have negative 0.1. So that's negative 0.7. That's 0.5 over the. That's a half a point up, and I will stick with that on the front engine car. Basically go with at least a half a point up. So let's go with that, and then of course a 3 and a 2 in the brake ducts, go down 1. Now, what I'm going to do with this is we're going to remember what this is, because I don't have a setup. We're going to look at negative. It's got negative 0.5. But let's go take a look at what the aggressive has, and let's just compare. I have no idea, so let's see what it shows. I'm going to save this. There we go. Now let's go to the aggressive. Oop. Well, it looks like the same setup. Now see, it's got 1.7. Now, so see, that's how much of a difference it is. We're way, say, dry setup's got 1.7, and we're at what, -5. So we're like 2 full points under what the dry is, and it's mainly basically one more wing, and basically it's the front end is a lot higher. So that's what it is off of the, and this is the aggressive. So that's probably about normal. See, the shocks are the same. Shocks are exact same settings, which that would definitely, I would soften these up um, a good amount. He's got softer settings there, so some things are confusing. I wouldn't, this is normal. Um, this looks the same. The actual alignment looks the same. So, well, let's go back to our wet setup. Let's just, on average, just keep everything the same, but let's knock everything down 5. It's at least better. I'll put that under that. Basically 5 or 6. There. Hopefully that'll help a little bit anyway. Just basically generic. Again, this is a generic base setup that you just want to do something real quick. I got no guarantees. I have no idea what it'll do. So I haven't even run the Aston Martin in a long time. I love that livery though. So let's switch my controls because I always run this at the faster steering input. There we go.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Okay, and one thing that I also want to mention that I just forgot even with the Porsche, and it's really good to get in good habits because you're going to do the same. You're going to do the same thing when you're in a rush, and that's why I try to do it when I practice the same things. But that's to turn on your, because somebody mentioned that to me, is to turn on your rain light, and of course now I see I have that to where I can turn my rain light on because that's important because that way people can have a better chance of seeing you and not running over you. At least that's the idea anyway. Let's see what this thing does. It might be a total mess up. Basically, I always go gear less most of the time if possible in the rain. Oh yeah, man, that thing goes over the bumps like a Cadillac. If y'all would like to see more Aston Martin stuff, let me know. I would appreciate any comments or feedback. feels really great. Not bad, really. See what kind of times you can do, but it's rotating really good. No wonder this thing's so good in the rain. Tires look good. They're up over 31.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Wow. It's better than the Porsche bike. Alright, pushing hard.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
Yeah, this thing's a weapon in the rain. I haven't even touched this car in I don't know how long. Good car though, man. It's just, I say in the rain, this thing is, wow. It's good anyway, but I mean in the rain. See how it gets good drive off the corners with the diff locked up? I mean, it just goes. Look at that.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
36.6. I mean, man. Wow. That's like a second faster than the Porsche. And I mean, doing the same kind of stuff. You know, the Porsche, again, you know, I know it could go faster, but again, it's just the same generic base kind of setup. That's it. I mean, and like I said in the Porsche video, let's take a look at here. I mean, in the Porsche video, I mean, Black Eye in this car, ran 37s most of the race and won the race. Low 37s, mid 37s, stuff like that, and he won the race. And I mean, he's a very good wet driver. I mean, very, very good. Doesn't overdo it. Of course, has a really good car. The Aston Martin, I've always said, is a great wet weather car. But he was here at Zolder, and like I said, ran mid to low 37s, and here I'm, with the same, with the generic setup. So again, it works. I'm not saying it's the fastest all the time or something like that. I'm just saying, to me, I could race like that, no problem. I mean, it's not uncontrollable. It's not trying to swap ends. It's not, it's a very raceable car. The Porsche was too. So I mean, either one, I could race them, not a problem. And the thing's just is planted. It's not moving around. Really happy with the lap times. And just how the car feels. Again, it's not just even in lap times. It's in how the car feels, and is not trying to go off the track at every single turn. And again, I will leave a link to this setup in the description. And in case anybody wants to add it to their, again, within my channel, all my setups are free. I show them, and I put the links, so anybody that wants to try them can try them for free. And I hope it helps out with ACC and your experience, and you can better enjoy it. And I sure hope you share the video. And if this is of interest, please let me know in feedback and comments. I'm just trying to do this to see if there's any interest out there for doing stuff like this that we can try with different setups, different cars. If y'all are interested, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. And please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I sure hope you come back and visit real soon. Y'all take care. See ya.